You're listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook live show here on the Better Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm social channels, and back on Twitch, James. We're back on Twitch here for today's show. It's been a little bit since we broadcast live on Twitch. If you want to go check out the Fantasy Alarm Twitch channel, we'll be streaming live from there as well moving forward, along with YouTube, along with our Twitter pages and all the other social media platforms where you can find our show live each day. All Fantasy Alarm shows and Better Sports Network shows, in fact, will be live from Twitch and YouTube every day, all the time, all day, moving forward. So subscribe if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys just kind of tuned in now, but just go ahead and get involved with what we got going on here at Fantasy Alarm and the Better Sports Network. James, just 4 games here, maybe 3. Detroit, Cleveland. Some weather concerns in that game we're going to have to monitor. So this is going to be a little bit of a quick show here today for those tuning in. Stick with us here, but with 4 games, not a ton to go over. We did the podcast this morning, broke a lot of it down. There hasn't been a ton of new or changing news yet. We're still waiting for some lineups to come out. The problem with it being a 4-game slate is 2 of those games are at 9 and 10 o'clock. So we may not even have official lineups for those games here by the time this show comes to a close here today. So keep all of that in mind. But before we get into business here today, James, how we doing, my friend?
Happy Thursday. I tried to not cut you off there, so I just wanted to let you go and
feel free to cut me off as much as you want, because I'm going to cut you off every single time. It's just what it is. Can't help it. We're 2 guys from the Northeast. We're going to talk over each other.
That's true. Rivaling cities at that, not just from the Northeast. Rivaling cities.
One of those cities currently has an under 500 baseball team. One of them does not. So
I would flip you off if I could, but just know that I am currently under the table. I have my middle finger.
You're not calling for a fastball. That's what you're saying, right?
No, not calling for the fastball. I love how Mark is always not only the first comment, but lately we've been getting like fashion comments from Mark. Like he appreciated the polo you were wearing the other day. Today we're getting the richest player in the NBA, and then Jason Tatum on your shirt today.
Sadly not. This is Kemba Walker. I wish it was Jaylen Brown.
I couldn't see that. Yeah, our QR code is in the way. I thought it was Jaylen. I just assumed that why would they not put Jaylen in
NBA Jam shirt to be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but it's not what they sold at the time. It was Kemba's first year. They had Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I'm sure the new version probably just has Jaylen Brown on it. So I'll have to go see if they have the updated version of the shirt. Super soft though, I gotta say. It's a Homage, I think they do the shirts there. Really good company, comfortable shirts. Got a couple of wrestling shirts from them as well.
I got the. It's funny you have Kemba on yours.
Yeah.
And I have the Bulls one because I root for Chicago Bulls. I have a Kemba. Like, Zach LaVine, you would assume, maybe DeRozan, maybe Vucevic, Colby White. I have Colby White as my Zach LaVine dance partner. Sure. It's we were excited
He's
for
on the
him.
team at least still.
He's on the team. That's a fair point. They just bought, this big house. Yeah. He bought a big house in Chicago now. Mark, what are you talking about content? What do you
He's saying the shirts are content.
Okay.
The Prince made the show on time today. Happy to see you tune in. Didn't miss it. We'll get to your FanDuel questions. I know you got them. Probably about who the favorite pitcher is today. We'll figure it out.
And favorite 2 values.
Might be Zach Gallen, possibly, maybe. But we'll get to everybody in here today, allowing a few more of y'all to come join the show for us this afternoon. Because again, it's just 4 games. So if we start talking about it right now, the show will be over. And everybody will tune in and miss what we're going to talk about. So, again, we got a lot to go over. Before we do, though, James, why don't we start off with a little real-time fantasy sports, huh? Those of you who have yet to sign up over at RT Sports, go do that today. Take advantage of our promo, Alarm23. You got a 100% deposit match up to $200. You can scan the QR code. You can go to rtsports.com/alarm. You enter promo code alarm23, and you will get that deposit match today. You can take part in those DFS pick'em contests. I gave out a couple plays today. Unfortunately, Justin Turner not in the lineup for the Red Sox at the time that I made that one of my plays here today. But Christian Walker was basically the hottest hitter in baseball. So go check out the Fantasy Alarm YouTube. Check out the video there. And now it's time for James and I to give you our favorite RT Sports DFS pick'em plays for tonight. Taking a look at today's RT Sports DFS pick'em board. I already gave you the one play, so let's just start it off there. Let's go to Christian Walker fantasy points. The man has 4 homers in 3 games, 2 homers last night. He's facing Rich Hill tonight, who's been getting just annihilated by right-handed hitters on the year. Walker, of course, a lefty masher. Really just, again, another guy where it's like everybody's just looking at Matt Olson and like drooling, which makes sense. He's been phenomenal. But like, here's Christian Walker just firing up the board, RBIs, home runs, batting average, just, feels bad for the guy not getting any notoriety, but few hitters in baseball are harder than him right now.
Yeah, what I say, was it yesterday I said if Christian Walker played in Colorado, he would be he'd break the record for home runs. That might be true. He might be looking for a new contract in Colorado next year. I love that pick. He was going to be my pick until you stole it.
Sorry.
Even though I'm just kidding. You did this. You did the.
I did.
You did the video at FaceLive.
I gave it out first today. So
yeah, it's all yours. I'm gonna pair that, and we're actually gonna go a less today, John. We're gonna take a less, and we're gonna go less strikeouts for Jose Quintana today. St. Louis not striking out against left-handed pitching at all. They've actually been a top 5 offense against left-handed pitching, and I think his outing can go either way in terms of like good or bad, but he's not missing a lot of bats to begin with. And they have a 19% strikeout rate. And he's only gone over this twice. Once was against the Yankees. We know the Yankees strike out a lot. And, a couple of these outings have been 2 and 3 strikeouts. And he's been at full capacity and he's still not missing bats. So I'm going to go under 4 strikeouts for Quintana here. Facing up against a Cardinals lineup with a sub 20% strikeout rate against lefties and steals.
I like it. Let's stick with a 2-pick play here today. Give you a chance to 3x return on your investment here. Christian Walker more than 6.5 fantasy points. Jose Quintana less than 4 strikeouts in their matchups. Unless you have another one to add, James. Do you have another one that you liked or no?
No, the only thing I'll add is Jose Quintana looks like a Grey Worm from Game of Thrones. Is it what I'm talking about? He was the lead. He was like the lead guy for was it Daenerys Targaryen, right?
Yeah.
He has a Grey Worm.
Yeah, he was the Unsullied Army captain.
Yeah. Yes. To a T, you nailed it. But yeah, he a little Grey Worm.
I get that. I get that from you as well. So again, there are 2 plays for today. Again, if you haven't signed up over at Real Time Fantasy Sports, go do 2 today. rtsports.com/alarm, 100% deposit match up to $200 when you use promo code alarm23. That said, James, let's turn our attention back over now to the DraftKings main slate here. 4 games, maybe 3, because we have some possible weather concerns. I'm pulling up the most recent update here on that game. Detroit, Kansas City, still looking like there's going to be some storms in the area.
Detroit, Cleveland, not Kansas.
Yeah, sorry, Detroit, Cleveland.
You just can't help talking about Kansas City. We all know it. It's okay.
They didn't really come through for me yet today, but we'll see what happens. There's a chance that they could start late. If they start late, they could have a long delay. Detroit, Cleveland is feeling like a fade to me on this slate, which is unfortunate because, I did like the prospects of Tarek Skubal. I did like the prospects of Riley Green, Torkelson, and Carpenter, but there's just a lot of risk around this game here today that, I'm not too sure, because the fact that these 2 teams are divisional opponents means they have a lot of different opportunities where they could just mix a doubleheader in at some point as well if they do call this game. So that's the struggles where we're at when it comes to weather between Detroit, Cleveland. Any other thoughts on that, James?
So Roth put out a tweet an hour ago.
Okay.
And that was his latest update. And he said his best guess would be a brief late start, play, late inning delay, and then they finish. But like you said, they could just play doubleheader tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They could just play at some point, probably. I mean, I don't have the schedule in front of me, whether Detroit returns to Cleveland or not.
Right.
But I'm assuming there's a chance that happens.
I'll pull it up right now. Detroit Tigers schedule. You keep talking, I'll pull the schedule.
So I largely agree, and they
play tomorrow. They
could just do a doubleheader tomorrow. That's
they're starting their series. They play Cleveland today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. So they do not have to play this game today.
No. So they could, in fact, just do a doubleheader. The fact that it's a 4-game slate makes it easier too. Yeah. Like they have all the time in the world.
Saturday, they can play Sunday. Yeah. They don't have to make it in.
So I would say definitely monitor things until lock. If you're not in the Fantasy Alarm Discord, get in there now. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description of the show. If you want to go click over there and head over to our MLB channels and stuff, and just become a subscriber in general. We'd be happy to have you, but we're going to be updating in the Discord whether or not we think this game plays, because this is a large portion, John, and I'll just parlay it for us right into the pitching. Sure. Tarek Skubal, as of the latest update, was and is the most rostered or projected rostered pitcher of the season. And that is factoring in bad weather, right? So I know you just said it's a fade, but if you're, as of right now, right, and we don't need to go in order of pricing because I think that's relevant. If you're building 20 lineups right now, all things considered, how many include Tarek Skubal?
Not knowing the status of the game?
Yeah, I mean, what we know now is what we know now.
2, 3? I mean, I guess the positive thing is like we should know before lock if they're going to delay, right? 7:15 roster lock tonight. So,
and they're in the 7:15.
And they're in the 7:15 slot. Window. So, I know you took the under on the Quintana strikeouts, but I could see a lot of people pivoting maybe to him now. Again, this slate didn't have any value pitching we liked in general, and now you're taking Skubal off that slate. No one's going to pitch Rich Hill. Maybe people look at Adam Wainwright here. I mean,
I
know that he has not been good. I get it. I mean, like,
no,
very bad.
No, don't do this to yourself. Just please don't do this to yourself.
But last year he was good at home.
Dude, no, stop.
Well, then what are you doing? You're playing Quintana, and then you're stacking Lynn and Gallen, right? Or you're going to play Lynn Burns. To everybody's point, or not everybody's point, because we haven't brought it up yet, but to the points we've made previously on smaller slates, these are slates where you can go dueling pitchers, where like you start 2 guys in the same game. So if you wanted to go Burns and Lynn tonight, you could do it. Gallen for sure, probably going to be a highly rostered play, and Quintana has to get the rostership then.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, dude, like, just to go back to the Wainwright part, like, I would just take a shot on any other pitcher on the slate. Like, I would use Rich Hill. I would use, I would just rather use the guys in a rain. And I think that they can both get more fantasy points
if they get 0 in that game. And he gets negative,
Yeah, like, they might get more fantasy points. Truthfully. I mean, look at, dude, like, it got better for one start against an Arizona offense that was, like, dreadful at the time because Arizona was in the midst of that big losing streak. And then Arizona's bats woke up because they went to Colorado, and now they're coming in, like, you just can't sell me on. There's no part of me that is playing Adam Wainwright now. I'm okay. Like, if I lose because of Adam Wainwright, I am okay.
I will say that he is getting pretty unlucky.
God, I'm taking. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if you really wanted to get down to it, Like, he is getting a little. His hard hit contact from the last year to this year is the exact same. The difference is they have a 400 batting average in balls in play against him. His xFIP is like 3 runs lower than his ERA. Now, that only brings him to a 6. But, I don't know. It's just like he's got a 5.65 xFIP and an 8.78 ERA because he's got a 400 batting average in balls in play against. His left on base percentage is just 57% because he's not really getting any good batted ball luck, So if there was ever a day where it could happen, maybe.
I think here's the problem, right? Like, here's the problem. It's not I don't think it's that difficult to spend up twice at pitching today because the Mets exist. And I say that because when we get to the Mets and we get to who's in their lineup, Vogelbach's 28, Stewart's 24, Araz is 23, Ortega's 21. All of those guys are like garnering a ton of ownership, and they make it easy to play.
Sure.
And I don't think you need to be that, you can be different. And that can be just not playing the Mets or playing Rich Hill or somebody who has positive fantasy points over the last 4 starts, and I get it. Like, I know you're just I salute you for what you're
trying to make a case,
But 7 earned in 3 innings against the Colorado Rockies at home is not good. 8 earned in 1 inning against the Kansas City Royals, and I get it, the Royals have been good, but not good. It's just. Anyways, would Quintana be the one guy you would play if Skubal is not a value? Because I think you and I last night and on the podcast, Zach Gallen was our number 1.
Yeah.
Are you still there? I'm still there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the numbers against the Padres are ridiculous. I wouldn't see why not. Because again, the only reason you're not playing Gallen tonight is probably because you're just double stacking Burns and Lynn, maybe or you're playing Quintana, which again we like a lot of the guys on the Cardinals against Quintana because they all hit lefties pretty well. But I don't know where else you'd go for value tonight. So
do you want to talk ownership a little bit since Skubal was the top, and you'll see. So Lance Lynn is right there with Skubal, obviously, because people can't avoid playing Lance Lynn.
Even though Milwaukee is actually not that bad against righties lately. So.
Yep. And they do have some decent lefties in their lineup. Rich Hill is actually the 3rd highest rostered pitcher of the slate. And, so take that for what it's worth. Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen getting about 25% each. And then you have Quintana, 12%, Curry, 10%, Waino, 1%. What stands out there? Is it that Rich Hill is 32% owned? Is that the thing that stands out to you the most? Because that's probably the thing that stands out
I
to
don't
me.
even know why that would be the case. I mean, he's been god-awful. So, I mean, this could be a case where, if you think that Cleveland, if you believe the Roth report, late start, some point of delay, if Skubal goes 4 innings, he could end up as a top 4 pitcher on this slate.
Correct.
So it'd be no different than pitching a long reliever, right? PLR.
Yep.
And they come in for a couple innings. Maybe he gets 2 strikeouts, but doesn't give up any runs. And, there you go. You got your 8 fantasy points, 9 fantasy points, and Skubal's right there. You could get the Max Fried. He goes 5 shutout, and then they call the game.
Rain out.
And he gets rained out, right? And then you get the complete game shutout bonus. Absolute cheat code that start was.
What 31 fantasy points in 5 innings.
Yeah. So, yeah, I bet it really – my hope is that Cleveland just lets us know soon that this game isn't going to happen and not that they're going to delay it. Because if they're going to delay it, that means they believe that at some point they can play baseball today. Because they know they have a whole weekend to do a doubleheader. So it wouldn't make any sense other than the fact that they think they could play tonight to delay the game. That's how I look at it. Because they have to think about the fans. The fans are going to go to that game. So you either bang it out now and let them know it don't come, or you let them know we're going to delay and we'll play. That's the only way I can think of it.
Has there been anything tweeted from the Guardians? No, they have not sent anything out. So what's your pitcher pool today? Give me your pool of arms.
Gallen, Burns, Lynn.
Sound the alarms.
Skubal, Quintana, and I'll probably
just say Adam Wainwright.
Oh
no!
You can't stop me.
I can't. I can play in the same contest as you, but I can't stop
me from playing an Adam Wainwright tonight. At 1%, Adam Wainwright. Come on. Is it his bobblehead night? Do we know? Is there anything going? Adam Wainwright Appreciation Day, maybe. They call Yachty out of retirement for one night tonight, maybe. You don't know.
You are. Oh,
that's really the problem. That's really the problem. Is there's no Yachty Molina to call his games anymore.
So here's where you should have gone with your Wainwright take. That the GM Mozeliak they're gonna reevaluate his role after this start. So he wants to show them, what he's got left. So he's going to empty it all out there for one last go around. That's where you should have gone with this argument. And I only know that because I'm reading the DraftKings description. I had no idea John Mozeliak said that prior to this very moment in time. But it's a great argument. It's going to empty the tank on his maybe last start.
So tonight is WWE night at the ballpark. They're giving away a bobblehead of
he's close to averaging negative points. He is actually, to Mark's point, he is actually averaging 1.7 fantasy points.
Yeah, well tonight so if he scores 2, he's above average. We're good. We're there.
He has gone for double digits 3 times this year.
4 tonight.
He has gone for negative 5 times this year. Just so you know. There is more negative starts.
You're being negative right now.
I'm definitely being negative. Look, Adam Wainwright's a great guy. I'm happy for him. He's had a great career. Should have gone off in the sunset after he, broke the record with most starts, him and Yachty as the battery. Should have went off in the sunset. But sorry. So WWE night, John. Is it this evening? Is he wearing a Rey Mysterio mask?
That would be cool. They're giving out a WWE bobblehead of Al. Never heard of this guy, Al Hrabosky. Apparently, he was on the Cardinals from 1970 to 1977. I'll show the world what we're looking at here today. Because we got time. Why not? It's 4 games. So this is the giveaway here this evening. If you're going to tell me that's not going to get Adam Wainwright fired up.
It's getting him jacked.
Like.
A little stone cold lookalike bobblehead there.
Exactly. You're going to tell me that's not going to get Wainwright juiced, ready to go. Maybe he drinks a couple of brewskis there before the start.
He might need to.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. So,
the only thing different from your pitching pool is I'm definitely not including Adam Wainwright in mine. I may toy with a Rich Hill in 3 lineups.
We have a Diamondbacks lineup.
Do we? What are we?
Kyle Lewis leading off. Corbin Carroll hitting second. Tommy Pham hitting third. Our guy Walker is hitting cleanup. Kennedy, Moreno, Thomas, Ahmed, Perdomo. No Ketel Marte this evening.
Or Lourdes.
Or Lourdes tonight.
Okay. So, right on cue, I may toy with Rich Hill lineup tonight, and I get it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 righties, and that's where Rich Hill has struggled. But as you mentioned, there's not a lot to like. Definitely, it's a good pitching environment in San Diego. In general. Now he's fared terribly against Arizona twice this year. 8 earned runs over 7 1/3. He's been shelled by them. But this is definitely a different lineup than Arizona.
Right.
Kennedy is hitting 5th, Moreno 6th,
Cal
Alec
Lewis.
Thomas
Cal
7th.
Lewis is
Yeah, I mean,
leadoff.
right. I'm gonna have a share of Rich Hill, I think.
Okay.
In 3 lineups. If I was playing a 20 max, I'd probably be around the field, maybe a little less, 32%. I'd probably be around like 20 to 25% Rich Hill. But after seeing that lineup, it's definitely more intriguing, I think, than it was, because Ketel Marte has been historically good against lefties. And, why is Kyle Lewis leading off? And Lourdes Gurriel's not in the lineup too. So there's a lot of question marks, I think, in Arizona.
I would agree with you. Everybody tuning in here again. We're just talking about the slate. Appreciate you all stopping by. If you haven't yet already, like and subscribe to the channel. Helps us out here. And then you get notifications for all of the live streams we do all week here at Fantasy Alarm and the Better Sports Network. If you're following along on Twitch, welcome in. We reactivated, restarted, restreaming on our Twitch account over there, so you can go subscribe, like, and tune in and get involved with some Twitch streams. We're going to start doing some cool stuff over there for the fantasy football season as well. So, come hang out with us each and every day throughout the day with all the shows we got going on here. Are you ready to move on, or do you want to discuss any more pitching here?
No, we don't need to talk about why you're playing Adam.
Okay. Catcher. I imagine Alvarez is your favorite catcher then, given how down you are on Wainwright.
It's not just me, John. Let me tell you. I mean, he's been bad.
I was going to say, when you have a chance to play a catcher rating 125, you got to do it.
I mean, he's been bad. There's no doubt. I wouldn't say he's my favorite catcher because Wilson Contreras and Kinzer are in the lineup tonight, John. We have both double barrel catcher action for St. Louis tonight. So
small slate. Let's give us all the bad players we can get. I take that back. Kinzer's been really good.
He has, and so has Contreras, right? They've both been really good. So, I prefer both them. Gabriel Moreno is obviously the easiest catcher to get to at $2,600, especially how good he's been against lefties. Although he did let us down quite a bit in Coors Field in general, just 10 fantasy points.
Unless your name was Christian Walker, you let us down in general.
True. Touche. But I do like Alvarez. We've talked about it pretty much all year since, he was called up. He's been hitting righties much better than he has hit lefties. And that holds true. He still has a higher ISO than Pete Alonso against right-handed pitching, and we know what Pete Alonso has done to every pitcher lately. He's just tormenting everyone. Yeah. 303 ISO for Alvarez and a 361 WOBA, tied with Alonso for the team lead against right-handed pitching. So I'm definitely in getting to Francisco Alvarez, but I do like the Cardinals catchers, and I do like Gabriel Moreno.
I don't have much else to add there. Again, I was in on, obviously, Contreras here all day. We talked about Kisner on the show last night, so it makes sense to spend down on him. And then you have Moreno. I don't find myself getting to William Contreras, but he has obviously hit the ball really well this year. And then Will Smith feels a little bit too pricey for me on this slate. So kind of where I'm sitting at the catcher position. First base, then, sir. Goldie is 58. Alonso's 53. Walker's 52. Freeman, of course, is 63. I was all in on Christian Walker. You're saying you like playing some Rich Hill tonight, so.
Well, you can, on a 4-game slate, you could do both.
Can you do both? That feels.
No, well, multiple lineups. Multiple lineups. I'm going to have one share of Rich Hill. I'm playing 3 max tonight. If I was playing a 20 max, I would have probably 20 to 25% of Rich Hill. But I would probably have 20 to 25% of Christian Walker and just hedge my bets as well.
25% feels low on a 4-game slate, though.
Well, I am also playing a lot of Pete Alonso. So, I'm definitely going to be splitting my ownership. I'm going to be sprinkling in some other names that probably not a lot of people will play, like maybe Vogelbach. We had a comment earlier from our boy Faisal about Vogelbach, $2,800. He faces Waino.
Let me call Justin
18
Vreeland in quickly. We'll see if we should play Vogelbach or not on tonight's slate. So he did the playbook. Is he in the playbook today?
Mets are on the cover. He had 6 Mets, I think, in his stack section. I do not think that
official word, ladies and gentlemen. Tigers Guardians has been postponed.
Postponed fully? Like they just are
PPD'd.
Okay, so
this is now a 3-game
slate.
Sound the alarms.
So sound the alarms. That's unfortunate. I may or may not have picked up Tarek Skubal to stream today in our Roto League.
I had looked at doing that a few days ago, and then I was going to wait it out. And then when I went to do it this morning, he was already gone. He'll just pitch tomorrow. You're fine.
He will. Yeah, so Alonzo Walker, that made it a lot easier because I did have some interest in Torkelson here on the Detroit side of things. I do have some mild interest in Vogelbach, but that's really it. Like you can obviously play wait a second.
What?
Oh, Goldschmidt. Okay. I just had a brain fart. I see Goldschmidt. I'm like, why is Goldschmidt not showing up? 5,800. I would get to Goldschmidt as well. I think you can get to any of the 4. I will say, looking at Corbin Burns splits, John, it's definitely been more fruitful for right-handers if you did want to attack Corbin Burns, which I think, if you're playing multiple lineups, just kind of get exposures everywhere. You don't want to really just go all in on the chalk, which is the Mets and stuff. Righties, 159 ISO on the year against Corbin Burns, 154 over the last 30 days. And over the last 30 days, righties have a 335 ISO against Corbin Burns. So, or 335 WOBA, sorry. So just throwing that out there that the strikeout rate, 13% lower over the last 30 days against lefties or against righties. On the year, lefties have fared way worse than Corbin Burns. Just throwing it out there. Just thinking back to
there was a stretch where Corbin Burns wasn't that good. So
right. I'm just saying the numbers just are screaming for Dodgers righties here, which I find interesting because they are, they do have a lot of lefties.
Yeah.
And we're talking about their best lefty here.
Who's that?
Well, their best. We're talking about the first base.
Freddie Freeman,
6,300.
Santana, as you mentioned, has been on a little bit of a run. Back-to-back homers on 13 and 15. Went 0 for 4 yesterday, but we know lefty power against Lance Lynn. Interest?
Yeah, I mean, they got blanked by Kershaw and the Dodgers pen. So, it happens. Chalk it up as one of those and move on, right? Over the last 30 days, Carlos Santana, 243 ISO against right-handed pitching. And, Lance Lynn actually has been better against lefties lately. Been struggling against righties, but he's on the year. The number is 273 ISO allowed to lefties, 413 WOBA.
Sure. And then we do have the Vogel monster here. 192 the last 10, does have 2 homers, but he does have, runs in 5 of 6, 4 of 5. He's hitting 5th.
I'm telling you. Now, again, that's like one of those things where you're playing Vogelbach. That means you're not playing Pete Alonso, and at least on DraftKings, that feels.
If you're playing Vogelbach,
bad.
You're not playing anybody else.
Freeman, you're not playing
Goldschmidt, Alonso, Walker.
Yep. Sure.
I don't know if
unless you're playing FanDuel.
If Faisal plays on FanDuel or not, because he does have obviously the utility ability there for him as well. So
bars.
Let's see. Anybody else in first? All righty. Second base. Mookie. Kim. Cronenworth. Rosario. Perdomo. Not great. No Ketel Marte kind of kills me here because I was playing a lot of Ketel Marte today. Are you just playing McNeil and moving on? Is that like where we're at now?
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at things. I kind of like the Dodgers 2 options here. I'm going to maybe start targeting a little Corbin Burns here. Just given the right-handed bat success against Corbin Burns, limited success, but it's been better of late.
Sure.
335 WOBA allowed to righties. So Mookie, Ahmed Rosario are fine. Kim, not getting to as much. I could see a scenario where you get to Cronenworth just because he's been good of late. You don't need to, especially if you're playing Gallen, but Jeff McNeil is hitting third tonight, right? So he's hitting third. He has hits in all but one of his last 12 games. It's not a massive ceiling, but it is fine.
On a slate like this, if he gets you a single and a run scored, it could be enough.
It could, yeah. And what if he does that twice, right? And you get 10 fantasy points, and he drives in a run too. And then there's some interesting guys below, like Bryce Terang. I don't know if we got a Brewers lineup yet. Do we have a Brewers?
No, but he'll be in it.
And then Jonathan Aruaz,
Yeah, former Red Sox great.
Yeah, he homered in 2 of his last 3 games for what that's worth.
What's this? Jose Furman. Just curious who the name was. That's all. 2K, and not a lot of support there against Quintana. Third base then. Arenado.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where else to do. I mean, Muncy, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's 3 games. There's not a lot to do here, people. There's just
there's
you're gonna be looking at 60+% rostership on some of these guys. So
that's kind of why I've been warming up to the Dodgers righties here, I think, because it is slim pickings. That's pretty much it for me. Is Kike? We don't have a Dodgers lineup. So
no, but I mean, he done.
Is he gonna play?
Yeah, he wasn't really playing, but I don't know what they have else as an option. Who's in the St. Louis lineup today? What is this? What is in this?
Who is not in the St. Louis?
Well, if they're using Kisner.
Well, they placed Gorman on the IL, John.
I saw that. So Kisner, Moderate, and Furman are all in the lineup.
So they're not playing Burleson today.
Yeah, no Gorman.
Gorman's on the IL, and they're not playing Newt Bar.
Sure, Newt Bar got hurt, right?
And
Newt
Carlson's
Bar
on the IL.
You saw what happened to Newt Bar last night, right?
Yeah.
Foul ball off the junk.
Newt Ball.
Yeah, Newt Ball. Yeah,
Newt Ball.
Unfortunate. Okay, so top of the lineup's decent, bottom of the lineup's cake. So.
Oh, Buddy Kennedy here. If we're gonna spend down, right? He's hitting 5th against Rich Hill. That's probably where you go. I guess my worry would be he's likely a pinch hit candidate for Marte late in games. I feel like they would go there with him, but I mean, you have to take the shot. I would assume, right? You're not going to play Motter, so. I feel like looking at their lineup, I feel like there's a lot of pinch hit opportunity here. Like when you lead Kyle Lewis off, I feel like that's also a pinch hit opportunity.
That's true. Shortstop. I imagine you're liking some Lindor tonight.
I am. Yep, that is correct. That's correct.
I'll play Edmund leading off in 4K.
Sure. I mean, we've said it all year. He's been fantastic against lefties. He's been really good against lefties lately.
Yeah.
412 ISO, 491 WOBA against lefties.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, he's got 4 homers over his last 10 games. We're getting power Edmund right now, you know? 361 batting average, 833 slug over the last 10 games. It's pretty impressive for him. Because again, it's a slate where there isn't much now that this Detroit-Cleveland game has been postponed. I know a few more of y'all are just rolling into the stream here. DePrince dozed off. He missed everything. Well,
DePrince to sleep.
Yeah. Apologies that we put you to sleep because you were here on time, ready for the show. Was your message 2 minutes in? So,
2 minutes.
But listen, I get it. Long day at work. You just sit down in a chair, and then next thing you know, you're just out, right?
Yeah.
I get that feeling, even though that I sit in this chair all day long. I feel that. I was wondering, because you didn't ask us about a FanDuel pitcher. I thought maybe we just covered it enough for you. So I'll give you a quick rundown. Detroit and Cleveland have been postponed. Yep. We like Gallen, and James is really in on Adam Wainwright tonight. He's just
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He thinks he could be a sleeper. when it comes to
he could be
slate.
asleep like DePrince just was. He really
True.
could. But by the second inning, because when he's not in the game, like what else is he gonna do? You know?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we like any of the top guys, Gallen, and I guess you like Lynn more than Burns tonight. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Look, I think what I've settled on is I'm gonna target everybody. I'm gonna just my lineups. Nope, nothing is gonna look the same because it's 3 games. I'm just gonna get weird, and I'm gonna have some Dodgers. I'm gonna have some Arizona. I'm gonna have some Milwaukee. I'm gonna have some. I'm just not gonna play Adam Wainwright. That's pretty much all.
Fair enough. All right, we're at shortstop again. We talked about it. I like Edmund a lot, and Lindor. If you wanted to play Adames or Rosario, Perdoma's been pretty good against lefties. Like they're all you can play. Basically, I was going to see if I could highlight it. Can't do it. Play from Edmund up. Edmund up's all in play in our pool tonight.
Agreed.
Some Terang is fine. I'm not touching the group down here though.
I would only give a shout to Nick Ahmed because he's been historically good against left-handed pitching, but it's not exactly like a comfortable roster.
No,
because he hasn't been good against lefties this year. He hasn't actually really been good against lefties the last.
No, he's been bad. We're living off the 2021.
Yeah, Nick Ahmed. Yeah,
when he was really good there. Those of you tuning in again, thanks for joining us here. I know we got now a 3-game slate with the Detroit Cleveland being postponed. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe to the stream today. Obviously helps us out. If you're not following us over on Twitch yet, go over there, give us a follow, search out Fantasy Alarm. We're live streaming over on Twitch now, along with YouTube. So give us all a like and follow over there. It really help us out, getting the show out to everybody there. DePrince wants his 2 FanDuel values. I think we're going to find it over on the outfield position here. So, James, talk about these top outfielders. I'll pull up the FanDuel slate for our friend here.
Yeah, so Mookie Betts obviously in play. If you want to get to Tatis or Soto, you can. Gallen has been really good against San Diego this year, 2-0 with a 1 ERA, 21 strikeouts across 19 innings. Tatis has been better of late, especially the stolen bases have been there, 4 in his last 4 games. You can, on a 3-game slate, use batters against your pitcher. It's not like as big of a deal as it would be on a bigger slate. You can play Corbin Carroll, even though Corbin Carroll has been pretty bad against left-handed pitching and just pretty bad overall. Christian Yelich, I think John and I both love quite a bit tonight. We know the well-documented struggles that Lance Lynn has had against left-handed batters this year. And, Christian Yelich, talk about a revitalization against right-handed pitching this year. 201 ISO, 395 WOBA, fits perfectly. 5,300 is a pretty good price. It's actually cheaper than he's been the last couple weeks too. So I really like him. And John, I'm going to say it again. Dodger, JD Martinez, he's been back for 2 games. He has not looked great, but he's driven in a run in each game. Righties have given Corbin Burns the issues this year. So I'm going to go, I like pretty much everyone at the top tier. I think my favorites are Betts and Christian Yelich, but JD Martinez right there behind him.
Sure. DePrince, a couple of value plays for you here tonight, some good ones. Tyler O'Neill's $2,500 over on FanDuel against lefty and Quintana. That's feeling pretty good. Then a couple of min price plays. Buddy Kennedy is min price at third base. Kyle Lewis leading off tonight is min price for the Diamondbacks as well, both against Rich Hill. And what was the other one? DJ Stewart. I know that James likes here tonight. $2,200 for the Mets this evening there. So a couple of guys there, $2,500 and under for you to throw into your lineup tonight. That Tyler O'Neill price is silly at $2,500 on FanDuel because we like him tonight on DraftKings where O'Neill is priced at $3,600. So, still far too cheap this evening when you're looking at getting some exposure to the cards here.
Yeah, and O'Neill's been raking against lefties. 225 ISO, 375 WOBA. That's this year. Last year, 179 ISO, 349 WOBA. Like, the guy has year in, year out. And last year was kind of a bad year after his monster 2021 season. So, Tyler O'Neill firmly in play, hitting 5th. Love that.
Yep. I think Frelick and Pham are in good hands here in the 4K range. Unfortunately, we've lost Green and Carpenter, two guys we were very much in on. But again, that game now postponed this evening. Are you paying $4,400 for Nimmo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's been raking.
Okay.
I would say he has one of the highest ceilings of like the Mets tonight,
Sure.
right? Because leads off. He's had 4 multi-hit games over his last 5, home runs in 2 of his last 3 as well. So yeah, I honestly, I'd probably play everyone outside of like Chris Taylor from Tyler O'Neill up.
Okay. What about Outman? You wouldn't play Outman?
Yeah, I'll throw Outman in there. I'm talking myself into righties against Burns, but I wouldn't I wouldn't exclude Outman in a Dodger stack.
Sure. Jordan Walker's 3K.
Yep.
Again, you mentioned Stewart's 24. A lot of power, 2 homers yesterday, a homer to the game before that. So, we know if you're not in on Wainwright tonight on WWE night at the field, might not be there. Anybody else? There really is nobody else. Anybody else?
Yeah, Rafael Ortega, 2,100, hitting 9th. If you look at him over the last 10 games, I mean, full sample size, hitting 300, 333 actually, 3 stolen bases over that span. He was really, really good for the Cubs a couple years ago, playing every day. If this is what he's going to be playing every day, double-digit fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games. And one of them, he didn't start. So his last 3 starts, he's had double-digit fantasy points.
Works for me. All right. Let's get to our Call of Fame here. Obviously, it's only 3 games now. What's your home run call of the night?
Pete Alonso has 36 home runs on the year this year, John. His odds for a home run, plus 370. Do you see what I did there? He's going to hit his 37th home run at plus 370 odds.
I really wasn't connecting the math, but I was just waiting for you to tell me what the slow...
Yeah, I figured.
I also was only half paying attention as I follow my golf lineup. So
it's okay.
We're close to getting a nice little cash there. DePrince wants to know our thoughts on Pham. I like Tommy Pham tonight. Pham's again top of the lineup there against the lefty. Let it ride. I'm in there. Okay, Alonso home run call for you. I'll stick with first base. Christian Walker's been my guy all day. RT Sports. Pick and play. We had Walker over 6.5. Gets a lefty. Gets Rich Hill. Man's been a power monster lately. 4 homers, 5 homers in his last 4 games. So I'll go Christian Walker. My top stat for this evening, I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks here. I just think that the top of that lineup, even though there's no Ketel Marte, can still do the damage there against Rich Hill. I just don't think Rich Hill's all that good. That's where I'm going.
Okay. I'm going to eat the chalk, and I'm going to go with the Mets as they are the chalk of the slate. I'm going to go with them, but I'm doing it in reverse because they're kind of cheap. Like the whole bottom of that lineup is incredibly cheap. I mean, even McNeil hitting 3rd, because my contrarian stack is going to be the Dodgers, and generally like they're super expensive, so they would usually be my best stack, but I'm going to do that in reverse. I like the Dodgers as my contrarian stack, and I like the Mets as my top stack.
My contrarian stack, I'm going to Brewers. Okay. I'm going to go after Lance Lynn here tonight. Santana, Yelich, Frelick. We're just going to let it ride and see if we can get some runs on the board from the guy who gives up a lot of home runs on the year. So,
John, their ownership is the Brewers and the Dodgers on our contrarian stacks is 0.1% apart.
Love it.
So we are both on the contrarian side of things.
Can't get enough of it. The Prince wants to know, do we like Alonso or Walker the most? I mean we're split. We just both picked him as our home run call. I'll agree with James that obviously attacking Wainwright makes the most sense on this slate. So if you were asking me to pick one, I would agree with James probably. But Alonso, well,
you can play both. It's FanDuel.
Yeah, you're on FanDuel. Play, if you can fit them both, play them both. I don't know if you can or not, but I would go that route if you could. Walker's been the better overall hitter this year. Alonso just has more home runs. So,
John, you did say shout to Can't Get Enough by J. Cole. That was a good song. Good shout there by you. I know you meant it on purpose.
I didn't hear a word you just said to me.
Can't Get Enough by J. Cole. You mentioned it. It was a good
J.
shout.
Cole. Okay.
J. Cole, yes. Yes, J. Cole.
Wasn't sure who J. Cole was there.
Yep.
I know who he is now, though. I got it. He's the basketball player, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ex-professional basketball player.
Yeah.
Turned rapper, yes.
Yes, got it. All right, let's build a lineup here.
Okay.
Plug in Wayno. Quintana, I guess.
It's Gallon, and then
if we do this, I guess we have to go Stewart, Moreno, Alonso,
Kennedy.
Yeah, Lindor, Kennedy, third base, outfield. Let's see, Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, Tyler O'Neill for sure.
Is
there a way that we can get to Arenado? Plug Arenado and see what we can do, because we can play like Kyle Lewis, I think.
Yeah, 2,900. Oh no,
Kyle Lewis is 25.
All right, perfect. Where is he?
25.
Oh, here he is. Okay. You like Lewis or Ortega? All right, Lewis. With the leadoff hitter.
It's up to you. You want to roll full Mets?
Nah, we're good. Okay. So that lineup came together a little bit easier than I expected it to.
Well, do you want to build quickly with a spend down as Quintana and see what that would look like too? Because we're going to keep Gallon.
3,100.
Yes.
Just a quick hot swap.
Go to Christian Walker in this lineup. You know, give yourself the rush of Christian Walker. Yeah, I know you want to.
The feeling of Christian Walker.
Yeah.
We can't get Frelick or Santana, so all right. Yeah, that's fine too. $400 left over here. Still got the Mets. Got a 2-man Mets. Got a couple of Arizona Diamondbacks.
We have 2 cards against Quintana.
BZ wants to know: is there weather issues for Cleveland, Detroit? There is. The game has been postponed.
Yep, game's
it's not playing tonight.
Great game site. Yeah, John has not updated his DraftKings, so just the lineups are still showing. That game's not playing, and now it'll be updated. Now it's gone.
Postponed. There it is. Postponed.
Yep, gone.
So
yes, BZ. I think so.
Cannot play. You could try, but they won't accumulate points. Which, if you play Scooble, he may end up better than Wainwright still. So. This actually, let me ask your. Nah, I guess it won't work.
What were we gonna say? What was the question?
Would you play a reliever on St. Louis tonight, or a reliever? You know, somebody that might pitch a few innings if Waino gets knocked out early.
Who pitched 8-11 for St. Louis?
I don't know.
Who pitched the lengthy? Here, let's look it up. Because he's gone 4 innings in his last 2 starts. Right?
I know. Yeah.
So the answer is probably no. But John, it's not like the worst.
I can't take credit for this. This is a Mark Pitts suggestion.
So all right. So here's something. Do we know, has Zach Thompson been sent down? Who, by the way, started for them last year? Can you look up Zach Thompson here? Zach Thompson.
Oh, okay.
There he is. Okay. Has he?
So it says he's going to join the rotation for Mats.
Okay. Well, then that's out because as you see,
yeah, he is the long man
in both of those. Well, not that Colorado game, but in the KC outing, that was in long relief of Adam Wainwright. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know because if it's not Thompson, who is it?
Right. Who are the relievers? Oh, they're only going to give us the starters, probably.
I'm looking at what was the start that Wainwright made?
Hudson started.
They lost. What was the start that Waino
Well, Liberatore
made?
only went forward last night. Did they have a long reliever go there?
All right, John, look up this guy. Andrew Suarez. Is he an option?
So they called up Casey Lawrence yesterday. And he pitched 4 innings. So he was the guy that came after Liberatore yesterday.
Liberatore won't pitch again.
Right. No, obviously. Who did you ask me to pick up?
Suarez. Andrew Suarez.
Yeah, recalled Tuesday. He did not pitch.
He pitched. He piggybacked Waino in the first Colorado outing.
Okay. The
answer is probably no. But it's not a terrible thought. You just have to. The problem is
he could not pitch.
It's 2 different guys, 2 different piggybacks, right? And now one of them's now entering their rotation. So is Steven Matz I don't know if we have and Fangraphs lists out. Before we go, I'll just see if Fangraphs has Thompson listed as a starter.
Answer Prince's question quickly here. Do we like Lance Lynn? We do.
Yep.
I think
like Tanae, yes. John doesn't
like in quotations. He's an option.
So probable. Fangraphs has a nice probable grid here. Zach Thompson's pitching tomorrow. He is projected to pitch tomorrow for St. Louis. So he's out. It seems like Suarez would be the guy here.
Okay.
But again, is he going to even, he's 30 years old.
That would be such a big brain play if you played Suarez and he pitches 4 shutout with 4 Ks tonight in relief of Wainwright.
And gets a win.
Wow.
The only problem he has in 8 2/3, he has 3 strikeouts.
Yeah. Well,
Zach Thompson had double figure fantasy points in each of those. That would have been.
Well, that's why Zach Thomas is entering the rotation.
That would have been. Well, Zach Thomas, great linebacker for the Miami Dolphins.
What did I say?
You said Zach Thomas.
What did you say?
Zach Thompson.
That's close enough.
One plays linebacker, played linebacker, and
that's a look at
off
3
the rails.
games. That's a look at 3 games here. We'll be in the Discord. And on Twitter, follow us at Jampemba777 at @the_real_grande. I know it's a lot of underscores. So you just have to suffer through it to find him there. You can give us a follow. We'll be back tomorrow for the podcast in the morning. We'll be back live 5 o'clock Eastern, just like we are every day right here to break down the Friday main slate. Good luck, everybody. We will talk to y'all later.